Welcome to Secrets of Earth. I'm Patrick Vierspa, your guide into the world's most remote corners. Today, we descend into the warm shallows of the Mediterranean Sea in search of the smallest rebel in the history of life. In the human experience, time is an arrow. It moves one direction, from the cradle to the grave, from the first green shoot to the last withered leaf. This is the grand bargain of biology. We are born, we grow, we peak, and then, with quiet inevitability, our cells begin to fail. The telomeres at the tips of our DNA fray with each passing year. We call it aging. We accept it as the one rule that every king, every commoner, and every living thing on this planet has had to follow for hundreds of millions of years. But in the warm, salt-thick waters of the Mediterranean, there is a tiny, translucent rebel that has found a loophole. It is no larger than the nail of your little finger. It has no brain, no heart, no skeleton. To the naked eye, it looks like a drifting scrap of cellophane, a ghostly bell pulsing aimlessly in a current it cannot steer. And yet, inside its impossibly simple body lies what may be the most coveted trick in the history of science: the ability to turn time backward. This is Turritopsis dohrnii, the immortal jellyfish. When it is injured, starved, or overwhelmed by the world around it, when, by every law of biology, it should simply die, it does something that no other complex animal on Earth is confirmed to do. It reverses. Its cells abandon their adult identities, collapse inward, and reset. The creature that was just about to end becomes, in a matter of days, a creature that is just beginning. Today, we are going to look at the mechanics of that miracle. We are going to trace the biology of an animal that looked at the concept of endings and refused them. To understand how this creature cheats death, we must first understand what it is, in its ordinary, everyday form. The adult immortal jellyfish, the Medusa, the stage we recognize as a jellyfish, is a masterwork of minimalist engineering. Its bell-shaped body, transparent as blown glass, is fringed with up to 90 delicate tentacles. At its center, visible through its clear walls like a lamp inside a lantern, sits a bright red stomach. Its body is mostly water, held in shape by a layer of jelly called mesoglea. It has no lungs, no gills. It absorbs oxygen directly through its skin. It has no veins, no arteries. Nutrients move through its body simply by the rhythmic pulsing of the bell, drawing the ocean through its tissues like a slow, living tide. By the standards of complex animal life, it barely qualifies. But do not mistake simplicity for weakness. That pulsing bell is an elegant, efficient engine. Each contraction creates a vortex that propels the jellyfish forward and simultaneously draws plankton and tiny larvae toward the stinging hairs of its tentacles. It does more with less than almost anything alive. Every other species of jellyfish follows the same one-way road. The Medusa blooms, pulses, spawns, releasing eggs into the open water and fertilizing them, and then Its purpose fulfilled, it degrades. Its bell weakens, its pulses slow. It dissolves into the column of marine snow drifting down to the seafloor, becoming food for the scavengers that wait in the dark below. The immortal jellyfish knows this road. It travels it often, but it has an exit ramp that no other animal has found. When physical damage tears its tentacles, when the water chills past tolerance, when hunger has stripped its reserves to nothing, instead of the slow dissolution that claims every other medusa, something extraordinary activates in its cells. The bell contracts, the tentacles retract, pulling inward like fingers closing into a fist. The body shrinks, losing its shape, its structure, its very identity as a jellyfish. Within hours, it is collapsed into what scientists call a cyst, a featureless ball of living tissue, no larger than a grain of sand, resting on the seafloor. It looks, to every instrument and to every eye, like something dead and discarded. It is not. Inside that cyst, a revolution is running at full speed. We tend to think of our cells as settled citizens. Your skin cells are skin cells for life. Your neurons will never become liver tissue. Every cell, once it has chosen its profession, is committed to it permanently. To change a cell's identity, science tells us, you must first return it to a state of pure potential, an uncommitted stem cell, and rebuild from there. But the immortal jellyfish doesn't follow that rule. Its cells don't need a stem cell intermediary. They can jump directly from one identity to another. The process is called transdifferentiation, and to researchers in regenerative medicine, it is nothing less than the Holy Grail. Inside the cyst, muscle cells become nerve cells, stinging cells become reproductive cells. The very architecture of adult biological identity is dismantled and reconstructed from the same raw materials, repurposed entirely. It is as if a skyscraper were to quietly melt into its component steel and glass overnight, and then, just before dawn, reform itself into a completely different building. The whole transformation takes between 24 and 72 hours. In less time than it takes a human to recover from a sleepless night, an entire life stage is undone and begun again. When it finishes, what emerges from the cyst is not the dying adult. It is a polyp, the earliest, most juvenile stage of a jellyfish's life. A tiny stalk, barely visible, anchored to a rock or a shell on the seafloor. From that single polyp, an entire branching colony grows. And from the branches of that colony, dozens, sometimes hundreds, of new, genetically identical medusae bud off and swim away into the open water. Is it the same jellyfish? This is where the question gets genuinely strange. The creature that was dying no longer exists as a single swimming individual, but its genetic self has multiplied. Every one of those budding medusae carries the exact same DNA, the same archive of biological instructions as the one that nearly died. In a world of Turritopsis, what we call the individual is not a body, it is a code, and the code does not die. This ability was first described scientifically in 1883 when the species was formally identified from Mediterranean waters. But the reversal itself, the reset, wasn't observed until the 1980s and 1990s, when marine biology students working near Rapallo, Italy, noticed something impossible in their laboratory jars. Jellyfish that should have died were instead becoming younger. The discovery rewrote what we thought was possible. When the Turritopsis dohrnii resets, it doesn't simply rebuild a younger body. It performs something even more remarkable. It repairs its own genetic archive. Inside every living cell is a library of instructions, DNA, that tells the organism how to build and maintain itself. In most animals, this library accumulates damage over time. The telomeres that protect the ends of the chromosomes shorten with each cell division. Errors accumulate, the instructions degrade. This is what aging at its most fundamental level actually is, the slow corruption of a once pristine code. But the Turritopsis cyst actively repairs this. During the reversal, gene expression studies have shown elevated activity in pathways linked to telomere maintenance and DNA repair. The jellyfish doesn't just rebuild itself young, it rebuilds itself clean. It clears the biological errors that accumulated during its time as an adult. When it emerges as a new polyp, it is not merely younger, it is renewed. And this cellular resilience extends to the greatest test the ocean can deliver, the void. In the open sea, the greatest enemy is not always a predator. It is time. It is the weeks or months that stretch between meals, when the current brings nothing, when the plankton thin, and when the choice between surviving and dissolving is measured in hours. For most jellyfish, sustained starvation ends only one way. Their bells weaken, their pulses slow, and eventually they drift apart into the marine snow. For Turritopsis, starvation is not a death sentence. It is a trigger. When the well runs dry, this jellyfish does not wait and weaken. It performs a radical act of biological economy. It begins to absorb itself. Tentacles first, then the outer bell. It shrinks its physical complexity down to its most essential genetic core, lowering its metabolic demand to near zero. It converts its own body into a time capsule, sealing the code inside a cyst and settling on the seafloor. Not dead, not dying, but waiting. While other creatures spend their final reserves, the Turritopsis has already stepped off the clock. It has made itself so small, so simple, so energetically invisible that the void has nothing left to take from it. It is the supreme practitioner of patience, not fighting famine, but dissolving into it and re-emerging when the currents change. But biological immortality, it turns out, has a side effect. It travels well. Because the immortal jellyfish can reset its life cycle whenever the environment becomes hostile, it is uniquely suited to survival in the one place most marine creatures cannot tolerate: the ballast tanks of cargo ships. When a massive container vessel fills its tanks in an Italian harbor and empties them in Tokyo, Panama City, or New York, it carries far more than water. It carries a colony of creatures that can survive almost anything. Smithsonian Tropical Marine Institute scientist Dr. Maria Miglietta has described the results plainly. We are looking at a worldwide silent invasion. Originally native to the Mediterranean, The immortal jellyfish has now been found in tropical and temperate waters across every major ocean: the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, the Caribbean. It is on the hulls of docks in Japan, on the pilings of harbors in Florida, in the coastal waters of Panama. What makes this invasion unusual is its quietness. It doesn't transform ecosystems through hunger or aggression. It simply persists. In every port, in every current, in every hostile environment that would kill almost anything else. It is a slow-motion colonization of the world's oceans, one reset at a time. There is a caveat scientists are careful to note. Turritopsis is not immortal in the absolute sense. In the real ocean, far from laboratory jars, individual medusae are eaten by fish, by sea turtles, by larger jellies. They succumb to disease. They are swept into conditions too extreme even for a reset to save them. The reversal process, remarkable as it is, has not actually been confirmed in the wild, only in controlled laboratory settings where the stresses that trigger it can be reliably applied. What is confirmed is the potential, a mechanism that, in principle, can loop indefinitely. A creature that, if nothing kills it first, may have no biological reason to die. For decades, humans have stared at the immortal jellyfish and seen not just a curiosity, but a map. In research labs from Kyoto to California, scientists are engaged in the painstaking work of decoding its genetic architecture. They are searching for the specific master switches, the genes that, when flipped, allow a fully committed adult cell to abandon its identity and start again. Because if those switches exist in a jellyfish, the logic follows, perhaps versions of them exist in us. The implications are not a fantasy about living forever. They are more immediate than that. Imagine the ability to tell a damaged heart cell to reset, to become healthy muscle again, to switch on the regenerative signals in a brain cell and reverse the protein tangles of Alzheimer's, to instruct a scarred liver to grow young. The immortal jellyfish is not just a survivor. It is a living proof of concept that cellular aging is not an absolute law. But the jellyfish's answer comes with a philosophical price. Every time it resets, it sacrifices its complexity. It gives up its form, its tentacles, its capacity to swim, its existence as an individual, retreating into a featureless ball on the seafloor before the cycle begins again. In a human life, our complexity is not a side effect of existing. It is existence. Our memories, our scars, the slow accumulation of everything we have loved and lost and learned. These are built from exactly the kind of accumulated cellular history that the jellyfish erases in order to survive. Nature has given the immortal jellyfish the gift of an infinite reset, but it has denied the thing that makes a life feel like one life, a continuous, unbroken thread of remembering. It lives forever, but it remembers nothing of what it was. This is not a failure of evolution. It is a negotiation. The same negotiation every form of life makes with time in its own language. The jellyfish chose permanence over memory. We chose memory and accepted the cost. We share this planet with millions of stories, most of them unfolding in the silence of the deep or the shadows of the canopy. The immortal jellyfish teaches us that the laws of life are less fixed than we thought, that nature, given enough time, will find a way around almost any wall. Thank you for journeying with me into the world of the immortal jellyfish. I'm Patrick Viersba. There are many secrets of life if you only know where to listen. I'll see you on the next horizon. Until then, follow our coordinates by subscribing to or following the show. It ensures that you never miss a step into the unknown.